Hello and welcome to Empyrion Galactic Survival Alpha 12, but it's creative mode, don't get excited, it ain't survival just yet. Not going to do that until it's out of experimental and we get the proper release of Alpha 12. Well, yeah, that's it really. Anyway, what I'm going to be looking at is some of my old designs and some new things I've been working on the sly in the background. So, in case you happen to have caught the Alpha 10 playthrough I did a long time ago, over a year ago, this is an old vessel. I mean, it looks it, doesn't it? But I did design it to be old. I also designed this in survival mode, so in that sense I'm quite proud of it. For some reason that block just won't save as the rest of it. I've textured it, retextured it so many times, not textured it, coloured it, but it just won't save as a black block. So I guess it's going to permanently stay that way. But this ship here, this is an old... well, it's called the Space Caravan, so you can guess what it's for. It's if you're going a little bit nomadic, you want to move some stuff and yourself and kind of just live on the run, I guess. That's what the purpose of this ship is. But like I say, it's pretty old, pretty outdated. If you also go here, its CPU usage is awkwardly in between Tier 2 and Tier 3. So it would need to be completely, well, it would need to be redesigned so that it either fits into Tier 2 or is worth upgrading to Tier 3. Right now it's not like that at all. But also because it looks a bit janky and it's just dated really. It is just dated. I thought I'd rather just build a new one. So I've actually been working on this. Let me introduce you to Duchess here. I've been working on this just over the last couple of days and I'm pretty much done. This falls perfectly within the Tier 2 limit by 6 CPU. And it's a lot more Alpha 12 ready as well. By that I mean I've equipped it with a few extra generators so there's no risk of damaging them even once you upgrade it. Also, unlike the Space Caravan, which has this archaic system, yeah, there, automatic, much better. I think it looks a little bit sleeker, even though it's a bit... it's both sleek and chunky, I suppose. But it is very upgradable. Let me give you a little tour of the inside first. So you can put a shield generator up here once you do upgrade. There's the cockpit here. And you'll notice this is all a different colour because these blocks here are container extensions. These ones here, carbon composite. So once you do upgrade, you can actually give yourself additional storage by replacing the floor here. Pretty handy. But it does have considerably more storage than the Space Caravan. In fact, it has over double, about 2.5 times the storage, I believe. But up here you can see you've got oxygen. You've got this down here where you can place the RCS. Just sort of slip them down there. There we go. You've got room there for a mobile constructor, so this does not come with a mobile constructor. Got a couple of fridges, armor locker, additional cargo box here. Probably, since I put it next to the armor locker, you'd probably want to put some armor mods, maybe even weapons as well in there. Then you've got your ammo storage there for your 2 GATs this comes with. Space Caravan does come with 3, but like I say, if I want to bring that back down to Tier 2 CPU limits, I'm going to probably have to remove 1 or more of those. This is where you can place the extenders, as well as extensive instructions on what to do as well, or just advice, I suppose. You got more room for RCS there. This is room for your warp drive. In fact, let me show you. So if we're going to have to slip out here. Wait, there we go. Right, there we go. Let's turn it around this way. Perfect. Just about squeeze this in here. Like that. There you go, there's your warp drive. So once you do upgrade... yeah, obviously you can't have that now. But when you do upgrade, you can make this warp capable. So what I think I might do is I might actually make the Space Caravan a warp capable Tier 2 SV. That way it serves a different role to this. So you'd pick whichever one you want accordingly, I suppose, is what I might do. But yeah, the instructions here, Tier 3 upgrade recommendations, I've basically placed markers around the ship in order to indicate where you can place your thrusters without getting rid of components on the inside. Let me show you what I mean. So out here, as you see, I put some markers here. So if you look here, below here, if you put a thruster here, you will not get rid of any critical components. And if you look underneath, you've got some for lift thrusters. You look up here, there's a nice gap, so the thrusters can slot into without removing generators, fuel tanks, container storage. Speaking of the container storage, there you go, you've got 7,500, you've got the same on the other side. You've got one here for 1,250, which can be upgraded to, I have no idea what amount this is going to be. Again, maybe also a 7,500, you've got 1,500 there. The cargo box, we go to the space caravan, it's only got this. 5,500, 1,000. Oh no, these used to be 1,000, they finally changed them. Ah, gonna have to change that as well. I like this little 500 over here. Makes for good storage to go along with the armor locker. You probably want to put weapons in there. Then again, you've got the cargo box up here. So I'll probably want to make some changes there. So yeah, this is basically just a much, much needed updated version of that, your on-the-go SV. And I might try and use that in the next playthrough. I think I really might capitalise on my starting planet, build this, use this to haul loot from POIs. We might be able to park the Space Hog on it if I do my attacking in the Space Hog. Once we get enough resources, we can upgrade this to a tier 3. And then we can go on our adventures from there. That might be an idea. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah. Anyway, something else I have been working on is this. This is a dropship. It's basically kind of like almost a kind of hot air balloon, I suppose. It's just a big block of thrusters, which does have all your key components in here. You've got lots of fuel tanks, a little bit of O2. There's also a shield generator somewhere. There it is. And there should be a pentaxid tank as well. I always seem to forget to put the pentaxid tank in these things. I'm going to assume it's in here, but I don't know where it is. But yeah, so what you would do is you would use this to, well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? It's a dropship, so you bring in some heavy machinery, such as the Pyramid here. And I've not actually tested this out yet. So, I mean, I've not tested to see if it can lift something up, and off it goes with it, although it's telling me that it can easily do that. So if we actually fill this up, we'll switch the power on. Something you'll notice as well is you've got these different settings here. So at the moment all thrusters are on. Now if you switch it to 2/3, this basically means you use 2/3 of the upward thrust, and that's what it goes by. It also takes off a couple of thrusters in each direction, one in that direction, one in that direction. You've got some there as well, and then 1/3, and this basically is to save fuel and generator power. So there you go, same again, just like that. In fact, if you look at the generator power, 4%, 5% on 1/3 power. It also kicks in an RCS as well because it does hinder the turning quite a lot. It's also got a detector as well, so you can actually do a little bit of scouting with this if you wanted. So you can detect POIs with it, carry your heavy weaponry, and just go and assault things. So I can see that being the way this upcoming playthrough goes. Definitely. Let's go back to the 2/3, take a look at the generator usage, look at the difference in performance. That said, the generator usage is still only about 5%, and then if we take that off completely and have all thrusters available, pretty good. We turn the shields on. Doesn't really seem to be doing anything, probably because there's no pentaxid, but it can easily handle that. It's got and look at the fuel time as well. It still says 70 minutes, 80 minutes. That's really good for maximum usage with a lot of thrusters being used. Alright, let's see if we can actually lift something with this. So you've got a nice flat surface underneath here. So if you put a nice docking pad, say on this, I think that's the way around it works. So I am actually going to build a new... Ooh, that's not that. There we go. There it is. No, that's not it. I'm not sure, is that the right way? I feel like that's the wrong way. Don't you? Was that even going to work? I don't think so. I'm going to build a new combat SV though. So I think a new one is needed given the fact that they have extended how much you're allowed to carry. I mean, sorry, the maximum CPU limit. And that's... Ooh, do you know what? To get this into position, 1/3 mode. Slows it right down. What you want to do is... okay, so you park it here. Get out. And this is why I've put the cockpit at the bottom. It's because you're going to need to be able to jump back in here, obviously. So you'll need to jet back up. So in this case, you would find your way back in. The pyramid, which should be underneath here. Come up. Do you have enough fuel? Oh, that sounds like it's... yeah, it sounds like it's docked there, didn't it? So let's say you cop back out. Up here, you come out the side, you blast your way through here. The multi-tool. Kind of shimmy round. Look, jump up. And in theory, I should be carrying. Feels like I am. Yes! Look at this. And we can carry it on 1/3 power, but it is extremely sluggish, so we're actually going to go for 2/3 there. This is brilliant. Oh, wow. Yes. Fantastic. Can't believe that really works. And since this thing is shielded, you can actually come in hot into a battlefield. It is hardened steel all around it, but it's not exactly going to last long if the shields go. But in theory, it should be pretty good. So let's actually... this is switched on. So you can keep things switched on. I don't know if you can have the shields on, though. You can. That's a surprise. Didn't expect that. But yeah, you can fly around with your pyramid, which I should really put on the Steam Workshop. I think this would do quite well, just out of a almost novelty value. Oh gosh, yeah, the side thrusters are really struggling to stay afloat here. So, the pyramid itself, it does weigh an awful lot. I mean, it is just a lot of hardened steel. So, in fact, how much does it weigh? 176 tons. So that's how it performed for carrying 176 tons, which is quite a bit. I may want to add some more thrusters, although it's already near the limit. So this is a tier 3 vessel, which is going to have to be if it's carrying all of this. Yeah. Okay, a little gap there. Mind the gap, but it's fine. So there you go. Those are the two things I've really been working on, the two completely new things. Like I say, the next thing I'm going to work on is probably going to be a new combat vessel. I would just like to work on a new space station again, but I have an idea for a small one, given the fact that we are going to have teleporters in the next coming update. So I think that could be good. Anyway, over here, I want to see if we can salvage the space caravan. That's the next thing I want to do. So it just looks so bad. This random thruster just sticking out. It's such a dated design. Actually, since we're on it, let's take a quick look at the costs of each of these. So the Duchess over there on the right is... the most expensive thing is carbon substrate, that's what you want. We've got 600 iron, 500 copper, 400 silicon, almost 500, 100 cobalt. As for the space caravan, it is 700 iron, not a lot of carbon. Copper and silicon are both less though, but a lot more cobalt. Not to mention all that titanium, it's even sapphire ingots. That's not so good. Need to get rid of that because I think that's going to be harder to find. Potentially. Maybe. Anyway. We need to trim 20... so we need to trim 5,000 CPU, basically. Just over 5,000. 6,000. We'll call it a nice round 6,000. So we've got this extender here. We need to find a place for this. That shouldn't really be a problem. Where's the core? It's over here. Can we just get rid of the steel block next to it? Probably can. Yeah, that looked fine to me. We're going to get rid of one of these. Yeah, I want to get rid of an RCS on each side. In fact, we can probably get rid of fuel tank as well. I said that only gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fuel tanks. Not a whole lot, but it should do. What are we at now? 19,000. Still not exactly great. I was hoping a lot more would come off. What about the... no, that's the wrong thing. That's a concrete pad. 63% CPU usage. Not very good. No. Do want it to be warp capable. Do we want the constructor? Probably not. I'll go ahead and get rid of that fridge, not that that will do much. Get rid of you two. You can be the ammo. Probably recolor all of this. Alright, we're just under 19,000, 66% usage. Getting there, slowly getting there. But I can't really think of what else we might get rid of. We also need to move that thruster out. Pentax attack there, we've got a lot of cargo boxes. Probably can get rid of... Ooh, didn't realise that would be there. I said, I'm not really surprised either. Perhaps we can just make this a... Can you see through the gap there? You can, but I think I'm going to choose to ignore it. Put that there. You've got cargo box for armor mods, cargo box for weapons. Pretty much leaves it at exactly the same. Alright, so this might have to... We should really exchange these thrusters. Let's see how it can perform now. In fact, we can just look at the statistics. Only 25 meters up thrust, 6 down. That is... not too bad. Oof, forward thrust is very good, isn't it? A bit too good though. Got the detector as well. Ah, we've got the gats as well. I mean, 3 gats. We can probably get rid of one of these to make it 2. I reckon. Should also point out, actually, while we're on here, I've already calculated how much it would cost to upgrade this with all the thrusters I recommended. The warp tank, the pentaxid tank, the constructor, even some of the container extensions as well, and it would still be under 40,000, as well as adding an additional 2 Gatling guns as well. You might even be able to add more weapons as well, so you can make it 6 gats if you want, or replace them with rockets or whatever you want to do. So I'm really pleased with how this has turned out, actually. Still not sure if I like the look of it. It's just a bit very blocky from some angles, but it'll do. It'll do. It's different, I suppose. It's a plus. Over here, turn this back on. What can we get rid of? O2 station. We've got the 2 RCS here. We do want that constructor though. Then again, we just use mobile constructors, right? So we get rid of this. Have a look. 82%. That is that's a lot. That's an awful lot. You're all fuel tanks. How much are you? 4,200. This has a lot more, you know. Take a look at this. 6,600. I think it's even got more O2 storage as well. 4,800. 3,200. So, really, this is just a far superior build. But this is going to be warp capable. That's the difference, really. That is the difference. One thing we can use to assist us. Right, we don't need these to be hardened steel blocks. We can change all of that to steel blocks. That'll reduce the cost considerably. Armoured windows, but that's another thing we can reduce as well, so that takes up a few hundred. We've got these giant thruster jets here that are using up. That's an awful lot. But it just works with the aesthetic. That's the thing. It just works with it. I mean, these are what, the medium ones? Yep, that's them. That is them. How much CPU? 1400, sorry. How much are the small ones? 220. So if we actually change these out for 4 of those... Oops, I forgot we don't need to do that anymore. Maybe we do... that. It's not so bad, actually. And it does reduce it considerably as well. might be the way to save it. Look at that, 93% efficiency. It's now probably quite serviceable. Just if we look over here, we've got plenty. 54 meters per second forward, only 14 going back. 32 lift, that's not too bad. 8 down thrust, which is just these two medium thrusters there, so it's very disproportionate. But now it's actually... and the roll still sucks. I just realised one more thing we can do. Get rid of this thruster. And we're now up to 100%. That's it. So it doesn't have the constructor. I want to see if it's possible to add that. I'm going to do that off camera though, because I'm not exactly going to use this in the following playthrough, in the upcoming one, I don't think. I'd be surprised if I do, but you never know. You never know. Nice to have options. Always nice to have options. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. One last thing, I suppose, is the Nomad over here, which is going to be on the workshop this month. Hopefully once I've started the playthrough. So this will be at the end of the month I'll put this on. They have altered the CPU numbers. This came in before, 4,900 roughly. Just over that actually, in fact. Right below 5,000. We've now got a couple of hundred to play with. We also need to sort this mess out. Just having the O2 tag sticking out the side of it's a bit... it's not a good look. It's not a good look. So we can probably do something with that. Right, we don't need no thrusters. Take the O2 station. Maybe stick this... we could stick this on the inside actually. Or maybe, since it's got that texture pattern on the side of it, actually have it here. We colour it that light brown that it wants us to, yeah, like that. I think we keep the colour. Or, you know what, you can stay it like that. Not too sure about that, to be honest. If you would keep it in the ground there, couldn't I? Oh no, those are container extensions. That's an armor locker. Actually, just keep it next to it here. Oh, of course, the armor lockers have changed. There we go. Right, I think we're going to be fiddling around with this for a little bit. May want to put it there, actually. I don't have room for that second passenger seat, so if you wanted to use that, well, you need to work that one out yourself. But I think that's okay. Ah. Then again, you kind of end up being trapped, don't you? Hang on. Is this a little bit... no, yeah, because it has to be like that, so that won't work. Worth a try. Could probably replace part of the floor, I reckon. Because what is actually... Right. Are you airtight? You are airtight, you're not airtight. Makes sense. That makes sense. So, change your plan. That can remain where it was. The slightly darker colour. We can actually replace this bit here. Yeah. Yes, that's the stuff. That way round. No, apparently not. What is your problem? There it is. There you go. Come on. Much better. Much better. And yeah, you should be able to walk on that no problem. So again, the texture, and we'll colour that in to match the floor. You're kind of floating though. That's fine. That's fine. CPU is looking good. And we just want to use regular old steel blocks, I think. I don't think we have, because the CPU usage isn't any different. The only thing is, I maybe don't want to use steel blocks, because this is meant to be your first vessel. So if we actually make our way down here, click on it here, most expensive thing is silicon. It should be carbon substrate. That said, the cost of it's not too bad. But I think I do want to replace some of this, or some of these steel blocks here, with carbon composite. That just really reduces your iron cost. Quite a lot, actually. Let's go ahead and color this back in, shall we? That's better. There we go. Alright. And you need to go back to that. Yeah, like these don't need to be carbon composite, do they? Also, we're not going to colour this. I never did colour this door in, did I? We'll go for caravan white. Rather fitting, isn't it? But with this extra CPU, well, we need to actually see if this thing can. What's the generator usage on it? Pretty low. It should be low. And it performs okay on flat ground. We even got the detector on it. We've got the minigun turret on top, which you are going to have trouble getting ammo for early game. But it's nice that it's there, because it's only got one thruster in each direction. That's something I think I want to change. So we can probably give it very, very careful. CPU is only 56. That's actually. Oh wait, that's the wrong. Those are not hollow vessel blocks. There it is. CPU is only 40, even less. Wow. Alright. Don't think we want that exhaust thing showing. Same here. I've always wanted to change that. There we go, finally can. Because anytime you went up hills and you went a little bit to the side, it would always start to topple over. That was rather inconvenient. What have we got here? You've got 3 small thrusters. Is it possible to make these any bigger? Probably not. You could always just add more thrusters at the back on top here. That wouldn't be a problem. We've got plenty of room for more extensions. If we want to do that. I always use up the entire controller here. It's usually about 1600, so we can raise this a little bit. Make this a little half block, I think. Yeah, texture that later. Alright. Let's just get the externals sorted. So we've got 2 on the side here. 1 on each end, that's actually pretty good. Oh, that really helps with the turning. A lot. Oh, much better. Much, much, much better. Of course, this is it. Riding empty. Might be a bit different if it actually had cargo in it. What about lift? Got enough lift? They're all around the front there. That's covering the core, isn't it? I suppose that can stay as it is. Probably one right down here. What's this? What's up here? I think we can probably replace that. Did I remove 2 things or just the 1? Let's see what happens if we go ahead and add a hover engine here. Just because it's very back heavy there. Okay, how's the temperature? Ah, I know why we can't do that. It no longer becomes airtight, does it? That's right, it no longer is airtight. Alright, well, fine. That at the bottom there just sticks out so much. But I'd rather be underneath than on the sides here awkwardly. What do we need to do here? Go you. Go you. Okay. Alright, that'll probably do, I think. For now. I'm going to remove some of the iron and replace it with carbon composite just because it will save on iron in the game, which is always useful. No way to really reduce the silicon unless we remove the windows or the copper, because those are key components. So it does take a little bit of time to gather those resources, and you may not have time to, which is why you might want to have an unlocked level 3 vessel just in case. So it's a bit of a race to get all of these resources. But if you do scavenge enough, you really sort of work hard early game to scavenge enough bits and bobs, you can get this. But it does take 19 minutes as well to build, unless of course, like me, you reduce the blueprint spawn time because, well, it's just more fun that way. Why wouldn't you do that? Anyway, now it takes 20 minutes, and it's more expensive. Almost 150 silicon and 148 copper, that is quite a bit, so maybe there's no real need to reduce any of these steel blocks here. There isn't any point really. No. Either way, that'll do. I'm quite satisfied with how that's turned out. That's pretty good. Replace that block there with a thruster. Given the fact that we've got all of this forward thrust. We can add more as well. I just really want to use that CPU. I might make some changes to it. And risk, it being more expensive, but the idea is this is your ideal tier 5 vessel. Really good starter one, you can carry a lot of stuff in it. You can construct things with it as well. Now it's 1800 volume, that's much better, I must say. It should have the generator usage powered. Yeah. 11% on one generator. That's all it's got, one generator. So that's something I need to look at all of my builds and make sure that they can handle however many generators I've given them, because if you don't, then those generators are going to blow up, which would suck. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm looking forward to getting started and getting stuck in with Alpha 12. There's going to be a lot to do, and we're going to want to get Spaceborne fairly quickly. I'm going to want to use this. I'm going to want to use that later in the game once I've built the my new version of my legacy ship. That'll be good. But yeah, I'm going to carry on working on a few things, including that thing over there. That's a very old ship, the Firebird Mark 1. I want to retrofit there, see if I can revive it. It does look quite bad, doesn't it? Very chunky. But it was my first high-performance SV for combat. It needs retrofitting, that's for sure. Needs a redesign, like the Space Caravan here. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Next week it will probably be another creative session. I'll probably show you what I've done with the Nomad there, and then the Firebird there, and what I've done with the Space Caravan here. Maybe even show you how I'm getting on with the Legacy as well, because I don't think it's going to be out of experimental just yet, by the looks of it. So we'll probably have one more creative session. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.